What's going on, guys? I'm Brick Aramello with BrickAramello.com. Today I'm going to tell you about the forecast for the rest of the year for DJI and for the drone industry. And to be honest, a lot of it doesn't really have to do with drones. I'm also going to tell you about what's ahead for the remainder of the year for my channel as well. There's going to be a lot of changes made and we got a whole lot to talk about. This video is not going to be long, so I'm going to get right to it. All right, guys, I'm going to start off talking about DJI, and at the end of this video, I'm going to talk about my plans for this channel. So let's talk about DJI. So DJI has actually switched up its philosophy for this entire year, caught a lot of people off guard, making a toy robotic car, making an action camera, making enterprise drones, and not really making any consumer drones for people like you and I who love flying consumer drones. They even made an FPV system for people who like drone racing and want to fly a lot faster and do all sorts of tricks. But for traditional cinematographers and people who like drones, I don't really see much in the future for DJI this year. Maybe not until next year. For the remainder of the year, I think DJI is looking at high ticket items and items that they can sell a lot of, and they've really put out so many good drones over the last few years that they've sort of saturated the market with good drones, and everyone's kind of content with their drones. So for the remainder of this year, what we're gonna see. So recently they filed a patent for a camera that looks a lot like the Hasselblad 1DXC, I believe the 2. There was the first one that came out about 3 years ago, and there's the second one that's coming out in September. And this one, I don't know if it's the Hasselblad that's coming out in September, which is a medium format mirrorless camera for about $5,700, $5,800, or if it's a completely different camera. But people have been comparing this, I've seen online, to the Sony Alpha series. But to me, that doesn't really make sense because a medium format is a totally different ball game than a full frame camera or a crop sensor camera, okay? Even with full frame, medium format is at least about 1.7, 1.8, almost twice as big a sensor size. So with that big sensor, the Hasselblad X1D, the first one and the second one, both have really big sensors, about 44 millimeters by 33 millimeters. So you're gonna get so much more resolution than a traditional camera. However, these cameras tend to be a little slower than mirrorless cameras. They don't have all the features that a DSLR or mirrorless camera have. They're usually a little clunky, they're hard to work with, but the resolution for photographers is amazing. Even on a 50 megapixel camera where you're like, 50 megapixels is pretty good, but it's nothing earth-shattering. However, with that really large sensor, you don't really have to worry about the megapixels because that resolution is going to be so good. Now, I've used medium format cameras before, but I've used medium format film, not digital. And I can say there is a different type of look with a medium format versus traditional DSLR camera. You get much better background blur, and the look of the image has a special look. The colors, the skin tones, everything looks better. Now, me personally, I like Phase 1, which they bought out Mamiya before that. So I've used the Mamiya 645. And to me, the Phase 1 looks a little better than Hasselblad with the skin tones and so forth. So I'm not really too excited about this camera. If it does come out, it will likely be expensive, even if DJI makes it affordable. Affordable is like $4,000 or maybe like $3,500 for a medium format camera. That would be amazing. However, how many good features are really going to be on there? And with so many good mirrorless cameras that Sony came out with, Canon has some, Nikon as well, why would you get this new camera? To me, this is a very niche market and someone who wants to shoot photos to blow up to billboard size. But in terms of features that it's going to have, I don't see it beating Sony, Canon, or these other manufacturers that have already been on the market for a long time. As I said, medium format's very good, but it's a very specific niche market that want really high resolution, but not a lot of other features. And one last thing, you may say, oh, it's great for flash photography because Phase 1 or Hasselblad have the leaf shutter where you can slow down. You can use the fast shutter up to 1/2000th of a second with the current Hasselblad, or with the Phase 1 you can go all the way to 8,000th of a second. Well, I have a Broncolor light, and with my Broncolor light I can use my Nikon or Canon camera, and with the broncolor trigger, I can still sync my flash up to 1/8,000th of a second, high-speed flash sync. So that's still available for DSLRs now, so I don't really see a huge advantage for having medium format. And I think a lot of people are leaving the more medium format world because they don't want to dish out $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 with some of these lenses. It's just not worth it. Now the next item that's coming out is one affordable item that is coming out by DJI in the near future. That's the Osmo Mobile 3. I think we're gonna see the Osmo Mobile 3 come out sometime soon. There's been a lot of leaks online. As far as I can tell, it folds up, so that makes sense if you're vlogging or you're traveling. The holder for the phone looked a lot like the Ronin SC. So it's gonna have that holder, the same one as the Ronin SC for your phone, which is really nice. Probably have the Active Track 3.0, and it will just fold right up. So when it folds right up, you can just put it basically almost in your pocket, but real easy to carry around. So if you have a small little pouch, backpack, a little bag, you can just put it in there. It's not gonna take up too much space. And the last item I'm pretty sure we're gonna see by the end of this year, maybe early next year, but I think by the end of this year, around the holiday season, is a high-end video camera. We've seen photos of it leaked before online. It looks like you could put the X7 or X8 up to there. So if you have something like the Inspire 2 or the Matrice 200, 210, you can take your X7 lens off and you can put it there onto that video camera. That's what I'm thinking. But this is gonna be a high-end item. This is not gonna be for most consumers. And like I said, most of these products that DJI is making are very niche, very specific markets that it's trying to take over. So DJI tried to take over the action cam market, then it takes over the robotics market. Now it's looking, I think, to get into the camera market and the video camera market. So it's going into very different segments. So that might have been the plan for DJI this year, 2019, just spread its branches, go everywhere but drones. Now, with that said, are we gonna see any consumer drones? I think we might see another Spark. I don't think another Mavic Air, but I think another Spark will come out because the Spark has been discontinued for a while. So I think in the fall or around Thanksgiving time, I think we're gonna see another Spark that will be a good seller for the holiday season. Now for my channel, I plan on doing a lot more consumer drone videos and really focusing on that. I know I've been kind of spreading my wings with DJI, going all these different directions, and I really want to focus on you guys and on drones since that's the majority of my audience here. And for this month, I've already filmed a bunch of stuff actually without drones, with the action camera and with the Ronin SC. So I'll come out with a few of those videos in August that aren't really exactly drone related, but I'm still going to come out with drone related videos this month. Starting in September though, all my videos pretty much are going to be about drones. And I will be taking a temporary leave from Florida, going up north. I'm gonna be flying my drone in the Northeast, in the mountains, to give you guys a new perspective. I thought it'd be good for my channel, good for myself, get a break from the Florida heat and make my channel a lot more interesting. So I think it's gonna be good for both of us. And I'm also pretty excited because I'm finishing up the last bit of a few drone courses that I'm putting together. That should be done by the end of this month. So if you're looking to step up your drone skills, I will be coming out with a lot of tutorials and tips in the near future, especially starting in September. So I do appreciate your support and for all you guys who have been watching. So if you have any ideas or ways that I can make my channel better, please leave it in the comment below. I do appreciate your comments. It's beneficial for myself, also for you. If you haven't done so, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'm Brick Aramello with BrickAramello.com. Drones for real.